So this is an example. It's, Cypress Hill, Kid Frost, billboards for banks, in Montebello, just around. This isn't something that like started recently or like with more Latinos in pop culture. This isn't just like a J-Lo thing. This is an old thing that's been going on around. For my 10th grade Spanish teacher, Spanglish is as lazy, and it's not lazy. But then what is it? Like Beto was saying, it's a mixture. It occupies this hybridity. It's a pidgin language. Because it expresses that hybridity, it's a complex linguistic dexterity. There's a juggling of meaning going on. It's often humorous. It's sometimes self-conscious, and either way, it's carving out this autonomous hybrid space, and it's definitely a skill. So what are some characteristics? First of all, it's local. There's no set form. There isn't like, the rules, like he said, there's no handbook on this. This just kind of occurs into these kind of common phenomena, but it is local. So, a group of girls in the San Fernando Valley, jokingly, they could say chilando for like chilling. So they take an English slang word and they put it in a Spanish verb tense. Or they do it like to kick it, kick andale. And this is just as a joke. In Havana, excuse me, not in Havana, in Miami, Cubans, it's Cubonics. In San Antonio, it's Tex-Mex. In New York, Nuyorican. There's a rich history of that, especially in poetry, the Nuyorican Cafe. Miguel Piñero, there's a film on him. He writes a lot in Spanglish. It's played by a white guy, but that has other issues of film. Anyways, so there's this general things that is local, but there are some general things going on. There's two things, switching and borrowing. He was giving examples of this. Switching is Spanishizing English words. So it's dropping the final consonants, softening others, replacing M's with N's or V's with R's. So like a vacuum cleaner is like a vacuum cleaner. Or so it's superimposing Spanish words, the Spanish pronunciation on English words. And then borrowing. Borrowing is taking English words and it's kind of like Englishizing Spanish words. So like he was saying, like instead of saying for a parking place, estacionamiento, it's parking. This is just a way of taking what you're around and making it similar to your own. As you see, Spanish speakers, they pick, they choose, and they accommodate what they're responding to, and this is all in navigating hybridity. Key to all this is a peer group. This isn't like a common phenomenon in many immigrant communities. If it's localized, is a kid will speak English at school and then his mother tongue at home. So his mom will ask him a question in one language and he'll respond in English. Spanglish is, especially as a strong linguistic phenomena, is strengthened by a peer group. By that I mean this code switching goes on with people reinforcing it. So there's humor involved. There's anger, and it's sometimes unconscious, sometimes conscious, but it's done for people who share this hybridity. It can't really, maybe it goes on by itself, but it becomes validated, and it has new meaning, and it defines and represents a specific hybrid community, and that's all through, kind of a peer group. There's a book on this called Living in Spanglish by Ed Morales. It's not in the library, but it does kind of capture this increased awareness of Spanglish as a pidgin language. Pidgin languages are, around the world, especially after, through imperialism, there's a common occurrence of pidgin languages. And so Spanglish is definitely a strong one, and that's local. So it's also, like here, like an example of like Weight Watchers is huehuache. So this is an introduced commodity within an English word, and you're making it Spanish. So I just dropped on that, and please just check for it in the poems in the reader, Martina Espada, Francisco Alarcón, our own Beto Palomar, Marcos Ramirez. They all use Spanglish. So just know that it's rich, know that it's valid, it represents hybridity, and it's just like we studied Black English and recognize and respect that as its own phenomena, and not kind of fall into that those assumptions of it's lazy, or it's kind of recognize it for what it is. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.